I'm recording this for Emily. This is the Mystic Soul Tarot and about connecting with your spiritual gifts. I'm getting this shape. It's like too angular. How to describe? Think of a mountain peak or an inverted V, and it's supposed to be arched. So we're getting half the arch here. We're going to do half of it with this deck. Whew. We'll do half with the second deck. The other deck is edged a different color. And we'll see what's going on. But what I'm getting is it's too sharp and angular. There's a softening that needs to go. It's like when people practice seeing auras, so you need to soften your gaze. You need to let the blur come in. Yeah? Okay. So, Emily, connecting with your spiritual gifts. What do you need to do? Why are we getting this? We're going to set this up in a softer way. Okay. Flipping down here. I'm flipping down here. And this is what's coming through. This is how you've attempted in the past, different things that you've done in the past. It doesn't always play out how you want, and it's like almost that you're focusing too strongly, and you need to focus to the point where you can blur, not the point that you get a headache. Thinking about something and overthinking something isn't how you're going to tap in. The universe is going to present things in different ways over and over and over. You need to trust the path of serendipity. The way of the chiromancer, you're missing just a little bit. Now, in some places and spaces, you notice people walking around and they're all doom and gloom, and they're walking, looking down, looking down, looking down. And this tends to be a way when people are actually in a depressed state, they're looking down, looking down. Also, in places where it rains a lot, people tend to do this. This is asking you to look up, look at it differently. Page of Pentacles coming through. This is being the lead character in your own life and going out there exploring and get your feet on the earth is hugely coming through. Dress a little differently. Now, how you've tried to approach it in the past maybe has been a little too cerebral, a little too in the head. And I'm getting there's an approach where you can do this the way of the chiromancer. Dress a little differently. I'm not saying you have to wear your tutu every day. No, you don't have to wear your tutu or your fairy wings. But something that makes you connected. Yes. Okay. All right. I'm getting something about a bracelet. Sometimes we'll see bracelets, whether they're lapis lazuli stones or blue stones or black stones. I'm getting a bracelet with all those little tiny, tiny beads that are stones. There's something like that. That is a good thing to put on. It helps you connect. There's something. It needs to be on both hands. Bracelets on both hands. Both sides connected. Both sides connected. I don't know what's going on with that. That's not in the cards. It's coming through the air. That's what is coming. It's something about you're going to be learning and tuning in with your spiritual gifts and with your guides. When you have those bracelets and you're walking, you're feeling pretty and you're feeling like you're looking good and you're ready. And you're out there walking, and then whether you're picking dandelions or seeing a rock that you pick up, whatever it is, that's how it's going to come through. There's things around you. It could be that you're even shopping and see words that are repeated, messages that are repeated, but you're going to grab this with your hands. There's teamwork coming in, and the Page of Cups. You've looked at it to be only in your hands in a certain location, and it's not in your hands yet. There's something coming about these bracelets. When you wear these certain bracelets, what in the world? Okay. What I'm getting is, old school Wonder Woman, she had like the gold bracelets and she could fight off the bullets, and they were like cuffed bracelets. They were cuffed. They were big, like fighting off things, right? These bracelets are definitely put on around to bring the wisdom in. This is something that I don't know what it's about. I don't know why I'm getting it so strong, but that's what I'm getting. You get the bracelet thing, you have one. Yeah. It's asking for a second. So what I'm getting is you have one. There's a second one that maybe that's what you're supposed to go find. I don't know, but it feels like it's going to bring balance. I'm going to get into this second deck and see what's going on in here, because the Page of Cups is saying there's a surprise. Woo! 1 second. There's a surprise coming through for you. The Page of Cups is bringing through the stinky fish surprise. It's the unexpected surprise of substance that's coming. It's creativity that's allowing things to come through. There's pencils coming through. I'm getting colored pencils. I'm getting something like colored pencils and a sketchbook. I don't know if you do that, if that's part of what your world is, but this is the card of the artist and the colored pencils and it's appropriate. Yes? Okay. Sark. Yeah. Okay. All right. Old school reference. There's somebody and her name is Sark, S-A-R-K. And she did a lot of like drawings, crayon drawing, magic marker drawing, and just a lot of words. It feels like this methodology would be a good way for you to get in touch with your guides by way of color. You get the bracelets on. You need to go buy yourself a dedicated set of pencils, colored pencils, something like this, so that the words and colors can come through, and allow it to just flow. It's not for the point of creating an art picture as much as it is you connecting to the flow in that sort of way. All right, let's see what the other deck has going on. Wow. Yeah. Ooh. 7 of coins. This is something that you've already planted. You've done a lot of the gardening work, a lot of the plant the seeds, harvest the seeds, honor the things, do the meditation. You've done a lot of the preliminary steps, but it feels like something that is blocked needs to be allowed to flow through. So if you're figuring an irrigation ditch or gate, you have to turn something to let the door come up to release and let the water come through. Yes, you've done the work. It's like the water has built up. Now you just need to know how to direct it and let it flow. You've done more than you think that you've done, so quit thinking. Allow it to flow. Allow it to be a little bit surprising and not guided is what I'm getting. Not guided. Oh, that puzzle piece is coming up. Hang on one second. Drive the puzzle piece over. There we go. Oh, come on. Try again. It's saying. Okay. So it's saying not allowing it to be guided. So what I'm getting is you've been too in your head about it. There's gifts coming in that you will be surprised by. So as far as I'm concerned, I would tell you grab a bracelet and grab some markers or color pencils or whatever it is. Now let's see what else you need to know. Yeah, it needs to be brought down to a level that is more playful. When we get in this place where we need to be all heady, and not just in our head thinking, but a little bit like highbrow, high-minded, how to express this? It's the difference between rock and roll and the symphony. It's the difference between the music, and we think too heady. We must have the, the orchestra and the full symphony and blah, blah, blah going on. No, spirituality needs to be approachable. Our spirits need to be able to tap in and tune in. We need to be able to dive into it, to really get into our groove. And sometimes it isn't as highfalutin and fancy-pantsy as the orchestra. It's not necessarily always a symphony. It's not necessarily always high-minded. There's oftentimes it's serendipitous. Yes, the chiromancer. Pay attention. Okay. What else? Okay, we were doing half of this arc, and I want to do the other half, so I'm going to drop down to the cards again. So, dropping down to the cards again. Okay, so this is where the cards were. I'm going to bring this one back. This is where they were. We're going to go this way and see what happens. We were talking about the sharp angles versus the soft. The quickest line, the quickest, most direct line would be a sharp angle. The rounded out path is more soft and gentle, and that's what's going to be needed to be taken. There needs to be a little bit more leisureliness in the walk in your spiritual path. Okay. All right. So what we're getting is there's this balancing between the Page of Cups and the Queen of Coins, the value and worth. There, it feels like a re-understanding, a reimagining. This one is the Hanged One. And it's like this needs to be upside down. She's upside down. Sky is earth, earth is sky. An upside down way of thinking about things. It needs to be turned on its head is what I'm getting. The moon is here. Going too deep doesn't serve. There is a way to do this that is, if you go too deep below the surface, it takes you a little while to get there. Again, I'm getting this overthinking it. And it's creating a little bit of blindness for you. There needs to be a playfulness about this. Yes? Yes. Okay. All right. We're getting direction to go over here. This is the card that says get off the battlefield. This is a card that says there's defeat, there's overthinking, get off the battlefield. This is something that needs to be completely different. The reason I often will say you need to play more in the readings is because that's when we connect with ourselves a little easier. And this is what's coming. The King of Cups is balancing. Balancing the walk of the chiromancer with the way that you have learned to do. Yeah, the way you have learned to do spirituality. There's a different way of doing it. Okay? Eight of Wands. For 8 weeks, if you can experiment. This is things lining up the ducks in a row. And it feels like at the beginning of each week, you can experiment differently, write something differently, try something differently. It yields a huge reward going forward. 8 weeks, you should be experimenting. Again, yeah, okay. And I'm getting something about a potter's wheel and the potter and playing. And so, yeah, picking up Play-Doh would probably be good. But it's just getting your hands on things again that I'm getting. It's getting your hands on things and getting into things. Really, really getting your senses where you're feeling and tuning in with your senses. And walking the chiromancer's path. When the unexpected comes and you're like, that's unusual, pay attention to that. And if you see a repeat of that, pay attention to that. That's what's trying to get you moving forward. 3 gifts of the hands, 3 gifts of the hands. So whether you're drawing, whether you're playing with clay, whether you're wearing your bracelets, it's always going to be the gifts of the hands, the gifts of the hands. Oh my gosh. What do I say to this? It's always going to be the gifts of the hands. And it needs balance. It's always going to be the gifts of the hands. The universe is trying to give you something literally in your hands. Now, when people do cross-handed motions, whether they're gardening, washing dishes, washing their hair in the shower, whatever it is, if they're knitting, when you're doing cross work with both hands, it activates both lobes of the brain and it allows solutions to come through. You're having that kind of clue going on, and it's like you're doing everything with one hand and you don't need to. But this is what came up when I'm saying gift of the hands and the tarot brings me this. We're on the trail, honey. We're on the right track. This is what you need to do. That's insane, but that's what came through. This is the gifts of the hands that is coming through, and the universe is trying to give through you abundantly, abundantly, abundantly. I would try, literally. I don't know why this is coming through. And there's high pitch right now in my ear. Gift of the hands is going to get you connected. Don't expect always that it's through here, or through here. The gift of the hands, it helps clear space in the heart for everything else to kind of understand, for everything else to come through. Don't expect it to look like you expect it to look. Get the bracelets too on. Use both hands, right? Yeah. The words to the page. Yeah, the color pencils, words to the page. And maybe some Play-Doh or clay. I don't know what that's about. This is how you get access to your spiritual gifts. Maybe when you're working with your hands, you let your brain get out of the way so you're not overthinking. This is what it feels like very strongly, and it helps bring balance. And that's what I've got coming through. That's complete, honey. That's what I got. That's a gorgeous, gorgeous reading. And remember this image. Like, it has to be balanced, but it's 3 significant gifts of the hands, even though that's the 6 of coins. Yeah. Yeah. This is great. You'll be looking out for it. This is funny and very helpful. Yeah. I don't know why it comes up that way, but it does. That's amazing. So that's what I got for you.